Doing well financially may have nothing to do with the level of education that you have, or the amount of training that you have taken, or even the connections that you have. It has more to do with your behavior or your character, especially how you treat money when money comes to you. A smart and financially educated man can be a financial disaster if put at a place where he has to manage money. But an ordinary man without any financial education or even any training can create wealth. This is because he may have some set of behavioral skills which are set him aside and put him in the path of wealth creation. And these skills have nothing to do with financial education or the knowledge that he has. While the knowledge of financial literacy is very crucial in our world today, it is also very important to understand that financial outcome depend mainly on your behavior towards money management. How lucky you are with the turnout of event and the effort you put in the things that you do. It is not dependent on the knowledge that you have or how financially intelligent you are. In today's video, I'm going to explain and give you case studies why how you behave with money matters more than the knowledge that you have about money. I'm also going to explain the 7 behavioral and self-management virtues that you may need to have in order to stand a higher chance of becoming financially successful and creating wealth. Hello viewers, welcome back to my channel. My name remains Chris. If you are new to my channel, please help to subscribe to my channel and do not forget to turn on the notification bell so that anytime I make good videos like this, you'll be one of the first to be notified. Please also endeavor to like, share and comment in the comment section, and I'll be very happy that you did. The story of Ronald Reed is one of the most fascinating stories in America and a lesson to young people in the world today. He was an investor, a cleaner, a mechanic and a philanthropist. Ronald Reed was the first person in his family to graduate from the high school. During his career, he worked as a mechanic in a gas station and a cleaner at a local restaurant. He was known to be a man that lived all through his life on a low key. At the age of 38, he bought a 2-bedroom flat for $12,000 where he lived until he died. In 2014, he died at the age of 92 and made international headline. Out of more than 2 million Americans that died in 2014, less than 4,000 of them has a net worth of $8 million, and Ronald Reed is one of them. In his will, he left $2 million to his grandchildren and more than $6 million to the local hospital and library at his hometown in Vermont. And that is when he moved from being a cleaner to a philanthropist. Years before the death of Ronald Reed, existed another man called Richard Fusco. Fusco was an MBA graduate from the prestigious Harvard University, and he became very successful in finance, that he made a lot of money and had to retire at the age of 40 to become a philanthropist. He had a very good business and leadership skill and excellent in integrity. At the middle of year 2000, Fusco collected a lot of loans from the banks to expand his mansion at Greenwich, Connecticut in the United States. The mansion had 11 bathrooms, 2 elevators, 2 swimming pools, 7 garages, and cost more than $90,000 per month to maintain. In 2008, financial crisis hit everyone in the world. Fusco was already on a high debt without any liquid asset, and he declared bankruptcy. After he declared bankruptcy, his Palm Beach home was foreclosed. That was taken over by the mortgage borrowers. In 2014, it was the turn of the Greenwich mansion. Fusco's house was sold in a foreclosure auction at 75% less than the insurance company predicted it to be sold. This means that if the house was predicted to be sold at $100 million, it was actually sold for $25 million. That is to tell you how bad it was. Reed was patient, but Fusco was greedy. Now let's come to a more closer example. In 1990, Shina Peter, the Afro-Juju musician, built a house for $20 million around Iju Road in Lagos and flooded the house with many luxurious cars. In year 2015, there was this news that he spent more money renovating the house than he spent for his daily living. At the same time, when he was spending this money, he bought a Nissan Pathfinder car for $10 million. Today, it costs way lot of money to maintain this house, and the family can no longer afford that, and the house is now being left in a very dilapidated state. Like you can see, in 1990, 1 USD is worth 7.39 Nigerian naira. So 20 million Nigerian naira is worth $2.7 million. So in 2025, 1 US dollar is worth 1,666 Nigerian naira. So 2.7 million US dollar should worth 4.5 billion Nigerian naira. So you can see the money Shina Peter spent in building a house in 1990 is worth a lot of money in 2025. At the same time this was happening, Jim Ovia invested 20 million naira to start Zenith Bank, and today Zenith Bank is one of the Africa's largest banks. In 2014, it holds more than $16 billion in total assets, with shareholder equity of more than $854 million. The company is listed in both the Nigerian and London Stock Exchange with over 800 branches across Nigeria. So we could all see the two financial decisions that these two men have taken. One took his own financial decision and invested his money in liability, and today now the family can no longer maintain this liability. But Jim Ovia invested his money into investment, cash flow, and today the business is worth billions of dollars. So now, having understood all these stories, we're going to look at the 7 behavioral virtues that you need to have in order to stand a bigger chance, a better chance of succeeding financially and creating wealth. The number one of this virtue or skill is patience. You need patience. You don't need to be greedy. You need patience. You could learn from this story that Fuscon was greedy, but Ronald Reed was patient. For 25 years, he worked as a mechanic in a local gas station, and for 17 years, he worked as a cleaner, and he was patiently investing his money in different stocks. Like, according to stories, they say that he had a lot of investment in stocks. He bought some of the best performing stocks in America then. At the age 92, he was already worth $8 million in total assets. We all know the worth of $8 million in 2014. So patience is a virtue when it comes to, or when it concerns, financial management and wealth creation. We could also see the fall of the CBEX Ponzi programs, and it is so funny that many Ponzi programs have come up like that and gone in Nigeria, and many people got scammed. And while we are blaming the condition in Nigeria, the economic condition in Nigeria, and the lack of governmental policy to control all these kind of stuff in Nigeria, we cannot also stop talking about how greedy people are to put their money because of the bogus interest that they are paying them. In fact, there are some of my friends that I told that this thing is a Ponzi scheme, and many of them even had problem with me when I told them that this was a Ponzi scheme, and they went ahead and put their money. So sometimes when someone asks you to invest your money, you need to ask questions. This investment I want to make, this percentage that they are promising, this ROI, that is return on investment, that is being promised on this investment, like, what is it realistic? Is it realistic? What kind of business are they doing with my money that will make them, after meeting their financial commitment of running that business, they will have enough profit to pay me this bogus interest that they are asking? So you need to ask that question, and you need to be a patient person to ask that question. You need to believe in delayed gratification to ask this kind of question. But if you are a greedy person, you always want the money quick, and you put your money and get scammed. So that is why patience is a very, very important virtue when it comes to wealth creation, and you need to get it today. Then number 2 is asset over liability. This can never be overemphasized. And you need to know that in everything you do, if you want to set yourself in the pathway, in the corridor to wealth creation, you need to acquire more of assets than liabilities. You need to first understand what asset is and what liability is. So anytime you work or you go to work, you make savings. Savings alone is not enough. You need to begin to invest the money. So there are only 2 ways you can invest your money. You can either invest it into an asset, or you invest it into liabilities, or you invest it into both. So, but even if you are investing it into both, make sure that more of your money goes into assets than it goes into liabilities. Sometimes when we talk about liability, people think liability is only when you buy something that does not produce income, that is only what liability is. There are so many things that are also liabilities. Anything that takes money from you and don't even bring return is a liability. Even friends can be liabilities too. You could have friends that all that they do is to take you to club, you drink beer, you go after women and all of that. You spend all your money like that and regret it the next day. So if you have those kind of friends, they are liabilities. You have to do everything possible to end friendship with them. Then apart from male friends, female friends can also be a liability. If you're a young man trying to grow wealth, then you also need to be very, very careful of the women that are liability, because sometimes this seems to be the most important challenges that young men have today. Trying to control these women that are liability, these girls that are liability. That there are, in fact, there are a lot of young men today that the money they spend to maintain their wives or to maintain their girlfriend is more than all the money they invested in assets across a year. Yeah. In as much, I'm not saying that one should not have a girlfriend or a wife. You could have a girlfriend or a wife, but at least when you are having one, try not to have the ones that will have great impact in your finances. So you cannot spend most of your money maintaining a woman than you spend investing in asset that is supposed to be for your future. So when you invest in an asset, you invest in your future. But when you invest in liability, you invest in something that can result to bankruptcy and something that can result to pain in the future. Then number 3 is effort and hard work. Effort and hard work is very critical when it comes to wealth creation. You need to put effort. In fact, as a young person today that is just there trying to create wealth, the first thing you do is effort. You need to put your effort. You need to find a job. It is only a job that can give you that seed capital that you can use to start your investment journey. So without working very hard, without getting your butt out there, without getting into the street and getting yourself dirty and start doing something that will impact your life and your finances, then you don't have any chance of creating wealth. So you could see in the story that we just talked about, you could see that Ronald Reid was a very hardworking man. He put a lot of effort. He learned a lot of skill, even though he knew he doesn't have that luxury of education. He doesn't have the kind of education that most of his neighbors had or most of his friends had. But with the little skill that he had, he utilized the skill very well. He did his job as a mechanic very well, and he was consistent in doing it. Then in his job as a cleaner, he was consistent in doing it, and that was how he raised a lot of money in savings and put them into investment. So you need to sit up, get a job, get something doing. Stop complaining that it is too small. Number 4 is delayed gratification. Delayed gratification, like most of you that have been, following my channel, you could see that most of the time I talk about delayed gratification, because you cannot create wealth if you don't believe in delayed gratification. Most of you are working hard every day trying to create wealth, but if you have not understood, if you are yet to understand the principle of delayed gratification, then it will be very, very difficult for you to create wealth. And what is delayed gratification? Delayed gratification is like something that you believe that the reward of what you are doing is in the future. The reward is not now. The reward is in the future. For instance, now, I bought a house in an off plan. For instance, I bought a house for $40 million, probably 1-bedroom apartment. I bought it for $40 million, hoping that when this house gets delivered, then I'm going to sell in the future. Many people fall into Ponzi scheme because they don't believe in delayed gratification. They don't believe in cumulative impact of money. You need to believe in that cumulative impact. You need to believe in delayed gratification. As you invest, make little profit, you reinvest. That is cumulative impact. Then over time, the investment produce more. But people that don't believe in delayed gratification, when they are being promised bogus to return on investment, they fall into scam because they don't believe in delayed gratification. They believe that how come that what this guy want to pay me in 1 month, this guy is telling me that this investment is telling me that they're going to pay me in 1 year. So they don't believe in delayed gratification. So delayed gratification, if you don't believe in it, it will be very difficult for you to create wealth. You may even lose your money. Number 5 is savings and investment. All of us are already aware of that. Without savings and investment, you cannot even build your finances or even create wealth. So when you work, you need to save money. So when you save, saving alone cannot make you rich. So it is when you save, you can put that money into investment. And when you put money into investment, like I said before, always put your money in a low-risk investment. You need to understand what a low-risk investment is, and you need to understand what a high-risk investment is. So if it is a low-risk investment, you talk about mainly the capital market. So you can decide to buy shares, you can buy bonds, you can buy debentures. So all of that are low-risk investment. Or you can even invest in treasury bill and the rest of them. Their interest is small, but they are low-risk investment. You don't have chance of losing your money all of a sudden. Ponzi scheme, cryptocurrency, and the rest of them are all high-risk investment. And if you invest your money in those kind of investment, you will have a very high chance of losing your money. Number 6 is no regard for material possession. So if you want to go far in life, make money, create wealth, you need to reduce your love for material possession. You need to reduce your love for the good things of this life. They say the good things of this life does not finish. So learn how to cut your coat according to your size. Don't go after material possession. Instead, invest your money into assets. Put your money in things that can bring return for you. Don't be busy acquiring material possession, clothing, shoes, chain, watches, luxury cars, renting luxury apartment. You don't need all of that, especially when you are in the journey to create wealth. If you already created wealth, it is good. You can acquire those things so long it doesn't affect you. But if you're a young person, you're a young man, a young woman that is still in the journey to create wealth, you don't need to put your money in this kind of material possessions. You need to avoid all those kind of possessions, acquiring material possessions for now. Instead, you put more of your money into those investments and use the profit of those investments to acquire some of the basic needs that you need, some of the basic things that you need. I know that sometimes social media kind of mount pressure on people to always want material possession. You see people flying private jets, you see people exhibiting different material stuffs online. Then you want to belong, then you're under pressure to put your money and into all this kind of stuff so that you can also show to the world that you are trying. You don't need to impress anyone with your money. Just be yourself, operate on a low key, avoid material possession when you are still in that journey. Then before you know, you get to a point whereby buying those things will no longer be a problem. You could easily afford them without even feeling that you even spent any money. So number 7 is no regard for social status. So don't place a lot of regard on social status. Don't always use your money to go and be finding social status. You know, sometimes people acquire certain kind of material possession because they want to belong, they want to increase their social status. Fuscon was trying to increase his social status, and that was what ran him into debt. So first of all, he acquired a mansion that has 11 bedrooms, which is unnecessary. So even as he made the mistake of acquiring this mansion, he still went ahead to expand this mansion, not with his own money, but with loans from the banks. Avoid trying to build social status by impressing people with your money and all of that. You don't need all of that. Apart from that, you don't need public validation for your success. You don't need validation from neighbors, close associates, friends, family members. You don't need validation from all these people. Just be on a low key, do your stuff. Be yourself. Any friends that try to put you under pressure, try to avoid friends like that. Just do your things and set yourself well for financial success, and you'll be glad that you did. We have come to the end of today's video. If you have not subscribed to my channel, this is an opportunity for you to subscribe to this channel, and do not forget to turn on the notification bell so that anytime good videos like this are made, you'll be one of the first to be notified. Do not also forget to share this video to your friends so that they can learn, and also like and comment in the comment section, and I'll be very happy that you did. So see you guys in my next video. Bye bye.